For example 3, you can see that we've just layered on another little bit to the equation, and both sides of the equation we now have a distributive property that has to be taken care of before we can excuse me, before we can move on to moving things around. So once we distribute, we can then move like terms to the correct side and combine those, and then at that point we can start isolating everything from the x variable. Again, we have a final answer that is an improper fraction, so we need to reduce that to simplest form. So this is another straightforward problem. You can see in Algebra 2 what we start to do is just layer things on a little bit more, so you have to really know your order of operations here to be able to do the things in the correct order. So another couple good examples, so we'll just move down to sample problem number 3. And again, we have two parts, part A and B. So go ahead and take the time now, pause the video, and work these two problems, and come back for a demonstration. So we'll start by making sure that we distribute on both sides. So I'm going to distribute the -3, which means I need to multiply it to everything inside the parentheses. So -3 times x is -3x, and then -3 times 8 is a -24. And then on the right side, again, I'm going to distribute, giving me 2x plus 6 plus 10x. Now, what I'm going to choose to do at this point, just to make life a little easier, is to combine any like terms that I have on each side. On the left side, 3x and -24 are not like terms, so we'll just keep it the same. However, 2x and 10x are like terms, so I can add the 2 and the 10, making it 12x plus 6. Now, I've got a decision to make here, and either way is fine. I could either subtract 12x from both sides, getting my variable to the left if I'm really intent on having my variable on the left side, but it would make it negative, which means I'd have to eventually divide out the negative. Or you could add 3x to both sides, making that part positive, but it then is going to give you the variable on the right side. Either way is correct. This is where you get to choose, and it's all part of personal preference. The variable doesn't bother me being on the right side. I like to keep it positive, so I'm going to add 3x to both sides. And after I do that, I'm left with -24 equals to 15x plus 6. Now I need to eliminate the 6. Thus giving me -30 equals 15x, and I can finish this off by dividing both sides by 15, giving me x is equal to -2, and that's a perfectly acceptable way to write that. Okay, so part B is pretty much one and the same, just maybe a few different steps, so I'll just go ahead and do this. On part B, I will probably eliminate some of the intermediate steps that I'll do in my head. So we'll have 3 times 2x is going to give us 6x minus 24. Rewrite the 2x, and then I have to distribute the -2. So remember, the negative goes with it, and then that's going to give me a -6. Now, we're a little fortunate here because the 2x and the -2x cancel each other out. So I'm going to end up with 6x minus 24 equals to a -6. And I simply add 24 to both sides, leaving me 18, and x is equal to 3. And you can see when I take out some of those steps by doing the work in my head, it makes it a lot cleaner problem. Takes up a lot less space. So, just another layer that we've added to solving equations. We'll continue to do that through the next couple of videos.